Okay, thanks a lot for coming. I will try to do my best with my English. It's not really easy for me. But I have to. And then I put this picture because at the beginning this is slides because Anne wrote about this house. It's 4 meters. The area of this house is a really small room facing over the mountains, and the other side is this one. I put this house because I want to talk with you about the small buildings. Why I want to talk about them because the small buildings give me into my office a fluid of works for many times. It's a permanent new experience in my office, and that is really important to keep training, to keep a training on your office. The second thing is the small things the small building give me the opportunity to put the hand on the side, and this is another experience that I think it's really important. And at the same time, with this condition, is permit you to give some relation with another professions, but really close with them, working together. And that is another important things that I want to rescue. And the next one is, I think the small scale have to be a real intensive relation with the landscape, because if it's not, you could do just trivial things, without significance, and that is really important. And then you have both scale, the small scale with the materials, and you have the big scale with the landscape. And when I'm talking about the landscape, I'm not talking on just the profile of the mountains or maybe, I don't know, the lights. I'm talking about the landscape too, how the people imagine the spaces around them. After that, I have to say I'm Chilean, but my grandfather was an immigrant coming in Chile, arrived in Chile in 1919 from the island of Raj in Croatia. I say that because I think the vision of an immigrant swings between a sensation of being an outsider, an outsider in a new world, and a necessity to see that world from a productive perspective. And this productive perspective is making objects, situations, and memories take on new movement, one which is often unexpected. And this kind of immigrant vision, I would like some of my work you could read in that way, like a immigrant vision. For thus my construction always depend on each project and on the real existing possibilities, which are to hand, real proximate on you, near to you, and try not to impose for that on the fixed line of on the work, which enables me to be, I think, more adaptable and gives me a wider range of solutions of different buildings. I use materials in attempt to achieve well-defined elements more than formal, homogeneous solutions. And that is important to me, because I always think about my work like a builder work, not like an architect work. And that is a different way to confront the reality. And then you will see clay, adobe, steel, wood, copper, ceramics, railway sleepers, brickwork, raw concrete, solid granite, basalt, PCV, are just some of the materials which I have used as support in my buildings. materials which have small, fragile, and traditional constructions as their reference, and which work with unsafe limits. Andrea Branzi said about this building, said unsteady joints, loose nails, oblique angles, roof measurements, splinters, fragility, oversizing, cracks, poverty in the 60s. This is a familiar circus in Chile. I think what the problem is what we could learn about these traditional things, what we could get from there. Firstly, I think the most important thing is the attitude of the authors, the builders. They, along with the immigrants, I put here, make what they can from reality. They manipulate what is at hand without great conceptual effort and without knowing which part of this reality is made up of themselves. We could say they are in the reality. Secondly, and it's important to me too, it is that each case of these ignorant constructions presents its own limits of comfort, aesthetic, dimension, and structure. And that limits could be put in the standard of the normal buildings. Then I will show you the first project. This is a domes made by Adobe in Chile. There is a machine to produce charcoal. You couldn't find this building around. You could find in the coastal area of Chile, but it's really hard to see them because they are always ocultas. Occult means you couldn't see really easily. And then when we discovered these kind of things, we are really surprising about, because the form and the shapes, and later we understand that the more important things was the system building. And we call the next project, we call the extension for the extension for the charcoal Werner's hat. This extension is not an extension for copy a shape like they do many cycles ago, but it's just for understand how the builder do it, this kind of things. And we proposed to it because we need an extension not of the house that you could see on runes in these slides, but we are thinking now our own extension of the memory and extension of the system building. And then we proposed to the old man who made that, who in that time was 94 years old, made not a dome, just a sphere. And we made a sphere. For us was so difficult to explain him, but we made, the next slide will relate it about the system building that we are interested. The quid of this building is not. First, it's a productive thing. Secondly, it's a really complex way to build something, because you have to be really care about the fire and how the fire is going down. And if you are not, you are not got charcoal, you are just got ashes, and that is not money, you know. And for us, it was great because this is a really good machine to do charcoal. It's a really good productive, but at the same time, give us the opportunity to put this new form, like a floater dome, put in the middle of our community. We won a contest in Chile about to remake this field of palm, Chilean palms, and we have to meet with the owners. That was about 100 people, and we made a new project from them. We put 3 spheres at about 4 diameter meters. It's a huge one, and 3 sidewalks and a column of lights. And this is the project. It is on a square, an installation in the middle of open country. Means it's not on a square. It's something strange, but we want to put a new memory inside of the people, because the people who have to know how to build that, they didn't know it, and we remade that memory. And if you know the scale, if you see some black points, there are houses on the square. We painted with ceramic paint. We do some sidewalks, just not for walks, just there are like a straight line with a stone, but inside of this line there are mortars that we collect in the neighborhood. It's just for company to the people who has to cross the square, and this is the installation. This is a party. This is a party in Chiloé. Means the people who want to move from one island to island, they have to move. They don't forget his own houses. They move his houses into the sea and float the house and put his own houses in another side. And that is really beautiful, because that means the houses, it doesn't have a really precisely site. They have they occupy a territory, and that means the relationship with the landscape is absolutely different. It's absolutely different. And when they got at a new place, they take the house again into the land, and that is really beautiful, because the houses are worried about the next side, how to produce something, where is the flat land, but they are not preoccupied like architects, where is the volcano, where I can see, or where is the good view. They are just preoccupied of the fireplace and the darkness interior and the productive exterior. After that, they made a party who called Minga, and make a grill, and everybody get drunk, and etc. We do something similar. We transport a lot of materials from other places of Chiloé, because we want to build a room in a top of one hill, and we transport these materials by boat, and later by oxen 2 kilometers to the hill. With this room, we try to understand what's happened with these traditional buildings in Chiloé that you could find. They're really calm, and they're really homogeneous in his structure, but they are really low profile. They're not. This is the first model what we do, but we changed this model because we don't have money. We have to change it just in one floor. But the importance of this model that show you the bookcase structure is not as a structure to support just the wave of the construction. The bookcase is to support the belongings of the occupants, means how they could use. And then the facade of this building, glass building, is coming to be decorating about this new occupants. This is the plan, so really easy. On the top of the first volume, we had a bedroom room machine. This is the bookcase, builders, interiors, empty. This is the interior, the real interior of the houses. We always are preoccupied how the architect could be used, and if you don't use, if it is not architecture, I mean, and then it's not really complex to use architect to me, I think. And this is the view from the outside. You know these cool volumes in, upstairs. We have to change that part later because the family is grown up, and we said, okay, we take off the second floor and we put a tent, a truck tent over there, just to do big bedrooms, and we put a red tent. This is the technology there, you know. And this is the finished work in the top of the hill. I always try to do, the interiors have to have some surprising, about a really big contrast between them. And because, I don't know, the life is changing, and maybe if you have a real good spaces, you don't need to use all of them in all of the time. And then we put this tent, like we use like bedrooms. You know the circle again? The circus again. And was funny because this red tent, it's imitating a red tin roof that you can find in the open country in some houses in Chiloé. And it's so beautiful to have just a color could give you some relation with the landscape. This next house is in the same place, Chiloé, but more urban one. I will, at the beginning, this is the first model. I tried to repeat the bookcase, and then I left because it's not the same things. And we want to do a teen house. And we went to the local government and said we want to build a teen house. We showed the plastic, and the director said we don't want teen house because it's not tourist. I mean, we want to build a tourist city. And then it was so funny because I said, well, you have a teen city. Your surroundings are all over. This is an immigrant people who come in, and that's the value of that city that you have to reinterpret it, in my opinion. After that, I said him that they used the tin from the beginning of the last cycle, means 100 years using the same material. And they say, no, we need wood because wood is ecological, you know, it's to cut a tree is ecological, but looks like, and then we say, okay, but maybe we could do it by copper. Yeah, copper is a Chilean material, and then you could do it. And we'll be okay. We made the first model of the Chilean copper house, and we made this piece of meat, you know, it looked like a piece of meat in the middle of the landscape. It's a real strange one, and when the local government saw that, it was really bad because it's not a copper house, it's something really strange. But The interiors are really easy to understand. You always going into from the back house in the Chiloé houses, and you go in the dining room in that places. There are the service places there. The second floor is just bedrooms, you know. The interior is just with, this is the tiles, the entrance, the articulated of the cook and the dining room, the view to the flat plane of grass in front of the house from outside. It's really aggressive, I think. It's not really calm. The interiors are of elms wood, a really red one. And then the exterior will be, I think, with the years, right now it's brown yet, but I think will be green. I don't know. This is the view of the house from the road. This is another case. It's another house that we mix two things. The client said that we want to a modern house, and at the same time we want security. We mix both in a site. It's more, I mean, on a site which have about 800 square meters. And really expensive. The people there, when they have to use this kind of sites, they put his big houses in the middle, and then around them they just have a small gardens, and that is really stupid things and a stupid way to use that. I take some textures of the builds above this picture, some of the lightness of this villa, the wall, the perimeter wall of the Francesco di Giorgio, put like in the right pictures the house in the interior. This is the house. We made a perimeter wall, and we put a volume floating and hanging from this wall. This is the first floor. When you enter in the corner, in the upper corner, you could see all of this side. Mean your house is really big, but your house is 250 meters, but it's more than this. It's a really big one, and we made a hard garden and a soft garden on the back. This is the first floor. The second floor is just bedrooms, you know. This is the house with the facade. It's a ceramic with the texture. This is the space which we give to the urbanism there, but nobody give nothing there. Everybody have to be enclosed in his own walls, perimeter walls, and we gave this to enter the car. Summertime from the other side. You could see on the back the entry door, and you could see the dining room and the bedrooms, etc. This is the same city, Santiago, in another place. This is my own house. It's we want to do it. We found a really ugly house. This one was really ugly, but the structure was really beautiful, because you know there are three really clear parallel walls on the back, and we take off the second floor. We put a tent before of the red tent, but this was more sophisticated. I couldn't explain it later. But on the bottom, our images was our reference to do this house. And that was the perspective. The first floor or the ground floor is just like a country house. Means you have to go through the each rooms, through the each ones, to passing through the each ones. There are not corridors and there are not second elements. You have to go into like old apartments. You are always with connection with a window door with the exterior. Each room have this window door, always the same. The second floor, we bring from Germany a tent. This is a house. The entry, interiors, bedrooms. It's look like this from the outside. I have many problems with the neighborhoods because they said the PVC is not material, and then the price of the neighborhoods is going down. The prices of the sites. I got a letter with 200 signs, refused the house to the local government. But it's really careful. It means it's nothing. But here we have the plans which is coming from Germany for the tent. On the second floor, you could find this. The roof of this house is just a floating roof. Means there are floaters which receive pressure air from this small compressor that you could see on the right, and that this compressor works just 5 times in a day just to maintain stable the pressure of the air on the roof. And the ambience is really beautiful. They have a double skin. One skin is just you could see on the back. One skin you could put up, and the other one is the exterior is fixed. The sculptures are of Marcela Correa. It's by Marcela Correa. We work in many of these projects together. I will show you some other examples of the collaboration. This is wood structure, just joined one by one, but it's the same wood that the charcoal people used to produce charcoal. It's the same one, and we stopped to kill trees and do this. This is another project, another house. It's a big house. This is the site. It's a really expensive one in Chile, near to the coast. The people who's coming, he said, okay, we want to Mediterranean houses, like a style, We said, okay, we could confront with this idea, and we are gonna use all of the site, because your site is your money. You put your money there, and we have to use this site, but to have some relation with the landscape, and different relation with the landscape. And then we said, in Mediterranean architecture, we draw 4 lines. The first one was with the road line in the upper of the hill. The second line was the yellow one was when the hill goes down. The pink one is when there are storm and the waves coming up to the rocks, and the blue one is when the sea is calm. And then we said, okay, we could use all the site. We have to guard this. We made a house of 400 meters interior surface, but the exterior platform is about 800 meters, means the double of the inside. And then that was to guard the site. You know, and at the same time we said we have to have a main room, we mean dining room, main bedroom, kitchen in the middle, in just quarter blocks. But if you want to go to the other service or guest rooms or children's room, you have to go outside, and you have to recorrer, how this, walking around your side to feel the wind, to feel everything. And then at the same time we said, the client asked us to support the house, means to really they don't want the house could be seen from the road. And we put a big stone to produce a real big platform, about 50 meters, and then you don't have an access of the house. You have a square to get into, and this is the platform. This is the service entry. The grill and the swimming pool, the main rooms, and the ramp who's going down that connect the two platforms, the access and the living room platform, the interiors. From downhill, the view from the downhill. And that's it. This is the next house. It's in the middle of the country. It's the second model with a copper. We want to do it a courtyard houses, and to take from another buildings which are around this house, mean not far away, mean 50 kilometers. This is a traditional house. We want to rescue the shadows and the weight and the deformation of this roof, this traditional roof, the deformation under this weight. And both things, the shadows and the deformation, give us the tools to create a skin from this house under which we could put the familiar bedrooms and rooms. Means this is the plastic. We just have to make the plastic of the structure, because the builders they are really handcraft people. And this is the house. Under this screen, the family is walking around. And the texture of the copper. The interiors are always really easy. And this is the courtyard. It's when you could open all of this window and you could walk around in your house. It's like just one space. And this is the material. It's a new material, electrolytic copper. I think it's just they made it from 2 years ago. 3 years ago in Chile. And this is the same problem, but resolved in brick. Just we made Chilean houses. We call Chilean houses this because the Chilean houses, the more important thing is the shadow, and how do you put in your and the shadow and the relation with the interiors. And then we do the half and a half house, mean half exterior and half interior, and we relation between them. We put the same floor and the same, I mean, I try to mean that you could expand your house into the courtyard, and the second thing we do is not to cut any trees that exist in the site. This is the house, you know, and this is the courtyard behind of the interior, and this is the house. This is just brick, you know. This is the interior and exterior. You don't know where is the limit, and that is really beautiful because in summer the people put a tent in the courtyard, and they could put the furniture outside because it's not rain, it's nothing, and then your house is really expanded over there, and you are really free in that way. The interiors are really austere, I mean just white and wood. This project, it's a pavilion. I mean, it's a restaurant called Mestizo. We have a problem here because the client, we won a contest for this. The problem is to put a pavilion, to put a restaurant in the middle of a park. We don't want to do this. We want to put the park in the middle of the restaurant to invert the conception, because we want to have a terrace that in Chile it doesn't exist for the restaurant. It doesn't exist restaurant with a good terrace, and we said, okay, this is a good way to get money, to have a really good terrace, and for this we have to put the park into the pavilion, and we use big rocks like support, like real structural support that we bring from the Andes mountain with Marcela. We used like a support because we could use at the same time like a protagonist of the interior side, but the people who see them thinks they are part of the landscape, they are part of the park, and then they feel in an exterior, but they are in a really interior. And at the same time, we hanging of this support a really big structure of concrete, big one, to have a really heavy roof, because we need an interior. But this heavy structure of beams, they support just glass. The roof is made by glass. The geometry is really simple. This is on a square, but this, you know, there are a salon, a bar. On the back there are the open cook, dining in the middle, you know, restaurant. There are 3 layers really important: the floor that it moves, the ceiling that is moved too, and the perimeter that you can open. Everything. This is the plastic for the project. This is the site. We have to go to the site to collect the rocks and to know what is good and what is bad. And then we need to know that, and we need people who knows that. And really, we have to be really carefully, because the rocks takes the earthquake in a vertical system, not in a horizontal system, because you could produce a cut in the stone. And then we do this with the structure, but at the same time we put some walls that could take the horizontal effort of the earthquake. You know the architect there? Building process. Was so funny because in this project especially, I didn't know how it's coming, you know, when you are very surprising for each stage of the building, and you really don't know, because with some experience you're beginning and you're finishing the same day. But with this special building, I never know how it's coming, and always was a surprise. Oh. And this is the end of the building. You know, it's on the back. You know, it's the view is over a beautiful park projected by Teodoro Fernandez, a really great architect in Chile. You could find fish and birds and everything there. And the second slide, the left one, want to explain what is the relation with the neo of the building. This is the building. The black is to have a frame to see the light of the outside, I mean like a picture, you know. From the park. Inside. Sometimes the beams are not really exactly over the rocks. We do this because we need the light have to be different. You have to read this dangerously. Means you have to read this with two things, not putting together in the same time. From the kitchen. The kitchen is red. The wood is coming. This is the bathroom. You know, the lavatories and the restrooms. This is the exterior. It's floor tiles, black ones with some points, you know. They use it just for floor and we use it for the wall. I love this picture because talk about the silence of the sound inside, you know, it's something really hard. I mean, that's hard for me. And it's really, Boyce was so carefully with the piano. I mean, I don't know, but I know the speech behind of this, but the way in which he used the piano was really carefully, and the cross it's not just for the other speech, it's just for this too, the red cross, and then we try to do the same with this house. We call a house, you know. We try to, again, not to have a block in the middle of the forest, just to have the forest inside of the house. And then this house is closer to the neighborhood, to the neighbors, are really beautiful trees. We have to put together again. And then we just fix it. We just cut everything, and we just give the A house. We give an icon with two things. We make a. You will see. You will see. This is the interiors of. With the same structure, we put a big basement, more bigger than the house. Means the house have 70 meters, the basement have about 180. We call ramps terrace, that to bring the force inside of the house. And we open the house and we cut everything It's not A, you know, it's not the icon. And then at the same time, we made garden rock with really heavy rocks that bring really near from this place. We put 60 basalt stone in a rock garden with the same density of the house and the same density of the trees. The last week, Marcela put it inside more or less another 160 another basalt to complete this garden rock. And the final is this. The final model is this. We didn't do drawings. We just made this building just visiting the site. Every week we go there and said, okay, this week you have to do this and this and this, and for about 6 months, you know. Next one will be the last project that I could show you, but it's not finished. Not finished when I take this slide. Right now it's finished, but I don't have more. You know, this is the way how the people who sell bread on the road could ask you your attention when you are on your car. And then when you see that, you could go there and you could buy bread. This is the sign in the China. The sign sometimes you could find for the restaurant, etc. This project is about emergency architecture that the China people call us. The NAMOC is the Museum of Modern Art in China, call us to another 12 office to do a pavilion. For architecture, emergency architecture, and we choose like earthquake, work with earthquake. The problem is when people thinking about it, they think to do the things quickly means to do the things efficiently. They call to the army general, and they call to the army because they have to organization to do the things really quickly. But if you know, if this picture show you how they do a village in Chile in 3 years ago when was the earthquake. And it's terrible because these boxes, they give a hut to the people, but at the same time, they give a city, and really bad city forever. And then maybe the problem is not to give to the people a city, just give to the people a meeting point where they could be there for 1 or 3 months and to begin to rebuild his own buildings, because they always return over his own buildings. And then we just work about the meeting, about people, about to do a meeting point, a really happiness meeting point for these people. That was our plastic that is coming from other projects, that it was there. But at the end, we made, you know, have to look like a medusa, you know, like a medusa with the chart, you know, and produce a shadow. A shadow could be something with the instantaneity, and we tried to use that. And that was the last pictures that I could take the last night before to come here. We flew inside and we know it, but I couldn't adjust. My partners are right now in China, putting. Thanks a lot.